Alrighty, welcome into BP Insights. So yeah, it is just kind of a shame of how many parents just feed their kids junk food. Like, there's no reason that kids should have junk food. There's no reason people should eat sugar and junk food, especially kids. Like, if you want to turn your kid into a junk food addict, it's just absolutely ridiculous, inexcusable. Too many kids are obese, overweight. You look at like the kids, most kids' diets accounts for 60% processed food. It's just ridiculous. Some of these stats nowadays are kind of mind-blowing. People don't even talk about this. 1 in 3 people pre-diabetic. Like I just said, like 60%, think about like 60% of a kid's diet's ultra-processed food. It's crazy how like times just evolve and change. Like it wasn't that long ago, like the modern diet would be seen as crazy. Like 50, 60 years ago, you would be seen as a lunatic. You would be seen crazy to eat fast food, to be eating fast food and gummy bears all day. Like that would be crazy like 50, 60 years ago. Now for some people, that's their average diet. McDonald's, Happy Meal, and gummy bears. It's just kind of crazy. So I was kind of talking about where does confidence come from? Like, how does someone get confident? To me, the issue I've always had with confidence is people always just say, just be confident, just practice being confident. People don't realize that you don't get confident by practicing being confident. You get confident by getting good at things, by getting competent. Competence creates confidence. So like the example I used was, like, if you just sit around and play PlayStation and eat Cheetos, and then in a week you have a social event, and you want to be social and you want to meet some people, you want to network there, or you just like say you're just out in public and you just want to casually talk to people, it's going to be very hard to be confident interacting with people in any sort of environment, whether it's a social gathering, whatever. It's going to be very hard to talk to people confidently, display your thoughts, ask them questions, good social feedback, when all you do is eat Cheetos and play PlayStation. Like, there's nothing anchoring the confidence. But yeah, self-improvement is just so key. Like, I've talked on TikTok, like I just don't, it blows my mind how just guys can waste time. Like, it's kind of scary how like competitive, it's almost, I will say it's almost scary how competitive life's getting as a man. Like, you look at like I always use, like, as I played football in high school and then I follow college football closely, you can compare football to how competitive life is as a man. Like, in high school football, extremely competitive. If you're good enough, you get a chance to play college football, which is very competitive. If you're good enough at that, you get a chance to play in the NFL, which is highly competitive. Like, you look at some really good players, some guys that have worked really hard to get cut. Like, Tim Tebow was cut. Obviously, Tebow had some success, but he was a big time figure in college football. Led the Broncos to a playoff win, eventually cut. So just kind of backing up my point of how good players can get cut and how competitive the NFL is. And then college football, it's really been haves and have-nots. Like Ohio State, Georgia, I'd say Michigan too. I don't know, a lot of different changes. Ohio State, Georgia, and Michigan aren't going anywhere. So yeah, that's the thing. Like, football with life, it's a lot of haves and have-nots. It's just too many. Like, we wonder why like a lot of men have confidence issues. Just simply, a lot of men have confidence issues because they're a have-not. You're either a have. Like, that's the thing. Like, I think a fulfilling life is like, you talk about like the top 1-2% of men get talked about all the time. Whether you're Andrew Tate, you're Donald Trump, you're Tom Brady. I think a fulfilling life is looking back and saying, I did everything I could to try to become a top 1-2% male. I think that's what a fulfilling life as a man is. You either get to a top 1-2% of male and you do everything you can to stay, and you stay there, or you do everything you can to try to get there. And if you don't get there, at least you're on your deathbed saying, I did everything I could to get there. It's like I always love that David Goggins was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I always loved that interview because it's like, he's talking about Kobe Bryant. You know, Kobe Bryant, when he walked off that court in the final game, 81 points, he wasn't like sad or crying. He walked away and he was like fairly content, surprising, because he knew he had given everything he had. That's always not necessarily a quote, but there's always when Goggins said that, that's always something that resonated with me. I think that's why guys are satisfied at the end of their life, even if they don't become like a super high status guy, top 1-2% guy, because they've given everything they have. Like I look at ranchers and cattlemen, right? I look at, these are guys where a lot of these guys, like, it runs in their father, their grandpa was a rancher, some of the most hardworking people I have respect for, especially on a carnivore diet. Like, you look at these people and you're like, I think those are guys where, like, if you're a guy that ran a ranch your whole life, it's hard work. Like, they may not be famous, they may not be well known, they may not even be super wealthy, but looking back on it, like sun up till sundown, working on a ranch, taking care of your cattle, I think a lot of these guys die happy. And they die happy, and they die content with what they did in their life because they gave everything they had. They worked sun up till sundown. They worked long hours. They worked through all different kinds of weather. That's what, to me, is a good life. You die giving everything you had. But yeah, I think a lot of people understand that going to the gym is important. I think it's an important aspect. It's a way to get stronger physically. But I remember David Goggins talked about this a lot. You know, the gym's a way to really. The gym is a mental game, right? So for me, I think what's cool about the gym is like, it gives you you gain the perspective going to the gym, discipline yourself, going to the gym, having tough workouts. You gain the perspective of how other men can be beaten. I talked about this take on TikTok, and a lot of you guys liked it. 95% of men can be beaten with discipline. That's how going to the gym really made me realize that, because I was thinking, like, the confidence I've gained from this, the strength, the discipline, now the extra energy that I have on a day-to-day basis, it makes me see, like, if I can discipline myself to do this is something that a lot of people struggle to do. If I can discipline myself to do this, then what? If I discipline myself to play basketball every day, work drills every day, couldn't I apply this same sort of discipline to become the best basketball player ever? So I think it's interesting. That's just how powerful discipline can be. That's type of perspective you can get as a man from hitting the gym. But yeah, I think deep down, a lot of men should love the competitiveness as a man. It's disappointing, though, that you feel like too many men are giving up. But that's always tough. Like, I remember Austin Dunham was talking, and he made the point, a lot of times rejection and losing is better than regret. Like, there's a lot of times you've lost games, you've lost whatever, but at least sometimes, losing can sting for a little bit, but regret can really haunt you. So that's the thing. I think a lot of guys, like right now, there's millions of men in the world. A lot of them are just choosing to play video games or do something non-productive right now. And and oftentimes when they're doing that, there's thoughts in the back of their mind that, yeah, I could be at the gym. Yeah, I could be running my business. Yeah, I could be posting to my YouTube channel. There's always those thoughts, but they think but they think, nah, I'm not gonna regret not doing this. No, I gotta play another game of Fortnite with my buddies. I gotta do this, or I gotta just sit, or I gotta watch another Netflix show. There's always there's those thoughts, but then there's thoughts of what you should be doing. And I think a lot of times later on you have the regret of what you should be doing. And that's the thing. To me, sometimes I'll make a video and it gets no views. And does it sting a little bit? Essentially, I was rejected on that video. Does it sting a little bit? Yeah. That no one I took the time, made a video. Like, I'll make a full podcast. Sometimes I won't get any views. Does that sting? But at least I don't have regret that I did not do it. I sat down and did it. People didn't watch it. People didn't engage with it. It stings, but at least I don't have the regret. At least I didn't sit down and do something non-productive and regret not making the video. Because potentially the video could have blown up. A lot of people could have liked it. A lot of people could have gained insight, wisdom from it. So yeah. That's the thing. Rejection, stings, regret can really haunt you for a long time. But yeah, it is just kind of sad how many people just aren't awake. You know, a lot of people just going through life, just getting fatter, sicker, weaker. I think what's scary about society and the advancements in modern medicine is it's made people too comfortable with being like fat and sick and weak, if that makes sense. Because a lot of things, because with the advancements of technology, like right now, if you're obese, you get diabetes, you're like, no, I mean, go to the doctor, get insulin. You're on insulin. Or if you're obese, get on Ozempic. It's made people, and then that's the thing. I think people see people living a long time, and they're just like, well, people are living longer. We got such good advancements in modern medicine. I can just drink more alcohol, or I can just binge eat junk food, or I can afford to be more unhealthy. And it's not really the best idea, just because a lot of times it can come back to haunt you. Like I think COVID showed, even though COVID was a bunch of BS, COVID really showed the dangers of just being unhealthy. You look at COVID really attacked a lot of people that were smokers, being overweight. So that's the thing. A lot of times living a reckless life can come back to haunt you. Like if you're someone who, and you don't even realize it, like a lot of people can get carried away with doing things they're not supposed to do if they can get it, like in getting away with it. Like if you're a person that drives your car 120 miles an hour all the time, like you just always drive over the speed limit, and then you get in a wreck, that really hurts you or kills you, then you're just like, or like if you, and then you say, or let's say you never, like you always drive way over the speed limit, but you never get in a wreck. Over time, like you're most likely just going to keep doing it until something dramatic happens to change your mind. Like you get in a wreck, or, you know, heaven forbid you get in a wreck and it kills you. I think that's the thing with a lot of obese people. They just think, I think that those thoughts are obviously there from themselves, and they also get other people say stuff that being overweight is unhealthy, but also at the same time they're thinking, I've been overweight for 20 years. Today's Tuesday, another day, or today's Saturday, another day. I can just keep eating cake, got insulin here. So I think too many people are just content with doing the wrong thing until it really backfires to a point where they have to change. I was listening, people are talking about this. Sometimes people don't, I guess the point I'm trying to get to is people don't learn their lesson oftentimes until it's too late. But yeah, I kind of want to touch on that. Kind of one of the sad realities a lot of people don't realize is like often how people really the social feedback you get from other people a lot of times is indicative of how you look. That's why I talk about like looks are so important, and a lot of people don't realize like looks are just very important because if you're not a good looking person, it's really hard to get good social feedback. And if you're not getting good social feedback, you're most likely not going to want to talk to people. Like that's why good looking people oftentimes just have it's easy for them to acquire good social skills over time, good looking people. Because when you talk to people, you're always getting good social feedback, it's always enjoyable, you're most likely going to keep doing it. Like if you doing things that are enjoyable, or if things become enjoyable, you're most likely going to do them again. Like if you enjoy going out, if you enjoy going to the pool, you're probably going to go to the pool more often. If you talk to people and people are always friendly, nice, you're probably going to want to keep doing it. You see why why nerdy, dorky dudes, not the best looking guys, maybe they have bad hygiene. You see why they don't want to talk to people. If you're always getting negative, bad social feedback, why would you want to keep interacting with people? But yeah, it does kind of scare me, just the dangers of ultra processed food. Like how long is this going to go on? Like how long are people just going to keep eating bad food? Like what point does this get to? Like how sick do we have to be before this stops? Like it is kind of scary. So I'm going to pull up my laptop here. I'm going to try to, just kind of doing this on the fly. I'm going to try to I like to just kind of have an idea pop in my mind and kind of just elaborate on it. Yeah, we'll keep talking about diet. Kind of wanted to keep with the diet discussion going. So yeah, what are the popular diets now? There's all these different. Well, these are delivery meal services: Home Chef, HelloFresh. Here's Noon.com. Best diets to try. I've never understood why people always say find a diet that works for them. Like, I don't like keto and carnivore diet have seemed to work for almost everyone. Like I haven't heard like a negative story. So if those diets work for essentially everyone, shouldn't those be like the universal diet? That's why I've never understand a diet that works for you. Like I like the expression, you can't outrun a bad diet. It's like Kevin James is on Joe Rogan, and they're talking about, like Kevin James is talking about just having one day was just a cheat day, and it was destroying all his progress in the gym. That's an example of you can't outrun a bad diet. I think that's the other thing a lot of people struggle with. A lot of people just think like, I'll have a cheat day. Honestly, why I stopped doing cheat days is because it's easy to abuse them. Like it's easy to get in that perpetual cycle of abusing them. Like with a lot of people, it's the expression, you give an inch, you'll take a mile. Like if you're starting carnivore diet and you think, I'll have 2 cheat days a week. Somehow, suddenly those 2 cheat days, it turns into 3. And then 4 cheat days. So you think about it, yes, carnivore diet's healthy, but if you're having 4 cheat meals a week, that can really just offset a lot of the progress made from the diet and a lot of the benefits you can see on a carnivore diet. So I'm feeling, I guess, pessimistic right now. So let's look up carnivore diet negatives. Nutrition deficiencies. I see. I still, all of this. I mean, and people always say, like, that's always the first thing that comes up with carnivore diet is nutrition deficiencies. That's not. That is, no study has yet to back that up. Not even anecdote. There's not even anecdotal evidence for that. I don't even know. Like, that's like me. It's like me arguing. It's like the classic example people use that show people argue about anything. It's like if I just go out and say the sky is green right now, like it's like, okay, that's my claim I'm staking, but I have no evidence to back that up. No anecdotal evidence. So I have no evidence to back that up whatsoever. There's no evidence to back up that carnivore diet, that you have nutrition deficiencies on carnivore diet. And what a lot of people don't realize, you can have nutrition deficiencies on any diet. That's the issue I have with this new Ozempic crap. If you look at Ozempic, like, a lot of times obese people on Ozempic are junk food addicts, right? So they're eating a lot of bad foods. That's why they're overweight. So what happens is on Ozempic, it stimulates the hormone that tells you you're full, right? So essentially what people are doing is they're still eating the same diet. They're just eating less junk food. Junk food, very low nutritional value. So that's how you can actually it's easier to become nutrient deficient on a normal standard American diet that's high in processed foods, just because those are already. That's the thing. A lot of people that are obese, yes, they're like, sometimes they're undernourished, but a lot of times they're just nourished just because they're consuming so much food that, like, if you just put enough food, you're probably going to get you're going to get some nutrients. Like, if all you eat is, if you eat burgers, pizza, gummy worms, chips, you're still going to get, like, if you eat like just a lot of those different foods, you're probably going to get all your nutrients. You're most likely going to get all your nutrients, but just the excess amounts of sodium, calories, fat. So yeah. So yeah, I guess this is one of the negatives of carnivore diet is diarrhea, but I actually don't know. I shouldn't be commenting on this because I don't really understand fully. Or I guess I do a little bit. It causes diarrhea just because your body's just like adjusting to the amount of high excess or the amount of fats. But and I think I've heard a lot of it's like your body just trying to flush out some toxins. More urination. Yeah, I could say that. But I mean, is that really, I mean, that's not like a huge issue. High fat, high cholesterol. This is the high cholesterol myth's been debunked because in a lot of studies, people who are healthy having high cholesterol is not necessarily a bad thing. Here's one carnivore diet, pros, cons. It is kind of the same pros for a carnivore diet. Meat protein intake may promote weight loss, suitable for people with food allergies. Yeah, I don't get here's cons of difficult to follow. No, it's not. You just go to the store, buy steak, you buy salt, you eat steak, you eat salt. So that's debunked. Low in fiber and other nutrients. that's been debunked. If you listen to Dr. Sean Baker, the gut biome is very versatile. So even if you're not, you can adjust to not having a very high intake of fiber, high in saturated fat and sodium. Socially restrictive. This one always kind of drives me nuts. They say it's socially restrictive. What do social gatherings mean if you're eating yourself to death? Like, hey, let's get together, let's eat ourselves to death. Let's shorten our, like, there's proven studies though that men that have access to better quality foods live an average of 11 years longer. So oftentimes when people socialize and eat food together, a lot of it's they're eating bad food, a lot of ultra processed food, a lot of high carbs. So yeah, you might not have as many social gatherings, but is that worth sacrificing 10, 11, 15 years of your life? You kind of got to outweigh the pros and the cons here. Ironically, that's what this article is doing, but you kind of have to look at the pros and cons of this con, if you will. So could harm livers and kidney. It's funny how they say could, like they don't even know for sure. Is the carnivore diet a healthy choice for you? I don't know. I mean, getting people off diabetes, curing acne, getting rid of body odor, no more dandruff, no more sunburn, all the same common benefits of carnivore diet. So when they ask, is carnivore diet a healthy choice for you? So if this happens universally in about everyone, I don't know, isn't that a good choice for you? No dandruff, no acne, no body odor, mental clarity, sleeping better. Isn't that wouldn't that be like if you had to choose to get those 5 things? Wouldn't you choose those 5 things? Sometimes people need to think about what they're saying or what they're asking here. Yeah, I don't know if this was the article I saw before, but yeah, here's another article. A lot of these articles that are against carnivore diet, a lot of it's just over and over in quotations. Carnivore diet's not the way to go. A quote terrible idea. It's all just like propaganda, clickbait. It's just propaganda and clickbait. It's not backed by they don't back it up. Like that's what you learn in high school and like if you learn anything in high school and college, it's when you're writing a paper to back up claims. Like these articles don't back up claims. Carnivore diet is a terrible idea. Yeah, I just don't. But here, yeah, try the fiber argument. I don't. Yeah, it's just if I've learned anything, I don't know, I guess about life in carnivore diet, it's that people will just believe whatever they want to believe. Like that's why I don't even really push. I might have to stop this real quick, then we'll keep rolling. That's why I don't really push carnivore diet on people anymore. It's just because like people will do what they want to do. Like if you believe that banging your head against a wall repeatedly every day will make you smarter, if you strongly believe that, you're going to need you're going to need people to come up with you're going to need to find a lot of evidence by yourself and from other people that's not a healthy thing to do, to bang your head against the wall, even if you have a delusional belief that that's good, that can make you smarter. It was like this term, it was like I took this class in college. I forget exactly what it was called. It was one of the communication classes. But yeah, when people hold a strong belief you need ample amounts of evidence to get them to detract from that belief. It's like a lot of the people that think the earth, I guess the people, I don't know if this ties in a little bit, but a lot of people still believe the earth's flat. So those people that believe that must have found evidence. Obviously it's bullshit evidence, but they must have found evidence, or they've had a personal experience to really make them hold that belief. Kind of like the people that believe in Bigfoot. You know, they must have seen something in the woods, or they've watched too many of those stupid documentaries. So yeah, when you believe something strongly, you need ample amounts of evidence. You need to be presented with ample amounts of evidence for you to really not even completely retract your belief, and to at least somewhat retract that belief. Yeah, so here's a doctor too. Or who is this idiot? Professor of epidemiology and nutrition. Yeah, he just goes, quote, sounds basically like a terrible idea. Sounds like a teenager. Sounds like something like a teenager would say, like a dumb teenager. Sounds basically like a terrible idea. Sounds like a pissed off teenager. That quote. Yeah, look at how short this article is too. I guess I can't show this, but yeah, this article's so short. Yeah, just because they can't find enough claims to back up that carnivore diet's bad for you. And I still get a lot of people questioning that red meat's bad for you. It's just like, that just goes to show that, like, how people can, like, believe bullshit. Like, you can really tie, like, there's so many things that can make you to tie in to really back up that the Matrix is true. Like if I told you, like look at how many people, so many people believe that COVID could kill people. So many people believe that carnivore diet's bad for you. So with that being said, you see how you really can, like, start to believe in the Matrix. Like, if they can make you believe that red meat is bad for you, if they can make you scared enough to not leave your house and wear a mask, like, what else are these people that control the world capable of? So yeah, chips an example of ultra processed food. Yeah, just really, really. Yeah, soda, potato chips, soda, which is sad too, because those are the two of the most popular things you see in a vending machine. Chips and soda. But yeah. But yeah, when is, like, the end to all this garbage? I think that's kind of the question. But all right, I'm going to wrap with that, guys. Thanks for tuning in to BP Insights. Stay tuned for more episodes and clips. Till next time, peace.